Good afternoon, everyone. And this is a merged episode because I will give you an update and then that'll be the end of it. But I did say that I wanted to give you an update on the results of my MRI and everything that went on this past week during my hospital stay, boy. So we'll get it wrapped up and then we'll move on. But before we get to that, to the Fiber Fun group, well, it's almost that time for the watermelon bag. And then we'll also be doing a watermelon shawl after that. Okay, I came on to let you know, Michaels. So we messing with Michaels again, y'all. Should we sing the song? Yep. Yes, we are messing with Michaels. Yes, this time we are. They have a 30% off coupon off of your full order. And if your order is over $49 or 50, may as well say 50. If your order is $49 or above, your shipping is free. If it's under $49, then your shipping will be $8.95. Too darn high. That's too much extra to be paying. But, you know, what can we do until Michaels decide what they're going to do with these brick and mortars of Joann's? We're stuck, okay? So I would say go on and get the $50 worth. That's what I went on and did. So what I did was I purchased some, I already have my white, but I purchased some more of the pine green, and I purchased some emerald green for my, for the watermelon contrast colors, like this. And then of course I'll be using my DIY glow for the white part of the bag, because that's only a couple of rows anyway. So, and as you can see, I told y'all that I was updating the watermelon shawl. I don't know if I've shown it to you, because y'all know I've been out of it, and I don't remember if I had already done it and showed it to you or if I hadn't done it, but in case I haven't, here it is. So what I did was I took that one little strip of white down, because I had did the crab stitch, that one row on the edge. So I decided to do that with the green, the pine green, and then I put the apple green in. Someone had suggested that I use that apple green, because at first, remember, the apple green wasn't even in the shawl. And then I decided to make my last 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of the DIY glow, because the yarn that my subscriber sent me, she sent a whole bunch of it. I said, well, I have extra now, so I may as well dedicate some of it to this. So that's what I did. And I still have quite a bit of that skein left. So I like it. And it glows really, really nice in the dark. Okay. And y'all know I'm loopy because, first of all, the steroids that I was on, even at that small dosage, it makes you loopy. So I'm liable to say anything or just I'm gonna be scattered, okay? So I'm just letting you know in advance. It's always like that. Then the second thing, that Dilaudid is coming out of my system. Oh, it was good. It was great when it was going on, but boy, when it's coming out, oh my God, it's just, you just out of it, okay? It has you sleeping, you're loopy, you have brain fog. So please excuse me, but let me just try to get through this doggone video. Okay, so like I said, Michaels have the 30% off everything, but it has to be non-sale priced. So it's called Caron Cotton. What's the name of that? Okay, y'all know that Caron Cotton, I think it's called Caron, C-A-R-O-N, all cotton, and they have the color watermelon. Okay, it's not on sale. That yarn is regularly $6.49 for a ball of it. Well, after 30% off, it took it down to, it was less, I was either less than $4 or it might have been $4, but you saved 30%. So just take 30% away from $6.49. So it's fairly cheap after the 30%. So like I said, I went on and ordered some yesterday. The shipping was free because I went on and ordered some more of the pine green, because at first the shipping wasn't free because I only ordered, so many skeins of it. And I was like, no, let me go on and add some of this green to it, for more watermelon projects in the future, and go on and spend this $49. And I got the free shipping. Actually, had I not done that, I would have been spending $6 more with the shipping, 6 or 7 more than what I ended up spending with the free shipping. And I got the extra yarn because that loops and thread green yarn that I got was like $2.11 per ball. And then after 30% off of that, because that was not on sale, it was only like $1 something. So, so I ended up, it's almost like getting free yarn. It just gave me my shipping free because I was able to get it over the $49. So I'm glad that I was able to do that, because I ended up with more than what I had expected to get, and I ended up spending less. That's what it worked out to. I ended up with more but spent less. Okay, I got through that part. So I'm just letting you know. Y'all know on the 14th, on my birthday, that's the day that we're going to be, hopefully, pending I'm still alive and all that stuff, hopefully I'll be well enough to get through that tutorial. The brain fog will be gone by then, I know, hopefully. But, still, I'm sick, y'all. So we'll see how this all pans out in the next couple of weeks here. We got 2 good weeks for me to get it together, okay? So anyway, and I'm crocheting, I'm working on a scrap blanket. That mint green yarn that I had, and then I had the dark green, and I had some other colors. I took all that mint green, mixed it, I doubled it, because it was already a thick yarn, but I doubled it with the other Pima cotton colors, and it came out to some neat colors, actually, every last one of them. So I have a purple color scheme with the mint, I have this dark green sage with the mint, and then I have another one, it's like a burgundy with the mint. But every one of them have this variegated look, and it's thick. But it's not that thick. It's still, flexible. So I'm just making a big giant granny square out of this just to get rid of that darn yarn. Because the colors that they sent, I didn't like them, for one, and it wasn't enough to do anything with. So I was like, okay, I know what I can do. I can make me a little scooter blanket, because the scooter will be going with me out of town next week. I have to use the scooter, And so anyway, so that's what I'm working on now. But anyway, now, what's next? Y'all can tell I'm out of it, okay? Okay, so yeah, get the yarn, because right now you can get it very, very cheap. And we don't know when that sale is going to go off at Michael's. I'd rather my yarn, like I said, everything together, including the loops and thread, I spent the $49. It came to like $49.01 or something like that altogether. When I looked at what it would have been had I not gotten it on with the 30% off, it was $96 worth of yarn altogether. So I think I did good. Like I said, I saved more than what I spent, and I got the free shipping on top of that. It actually, if the shipping hadn't been free, it would have been over $100 worth of yarn. So I did pretty good with that. So you can do the same. And for your bag, my assumption, I've never used that Caron all cotton, so I don't know how many grams or whatever. I figured 3 should get the bag, because the watermelon color is your base. And then the other colors are your other rows that are going to fill in, and then of course your strap and whatnot. So I can't even really tell you how much to get. I just say get some, okay? Just get as much as you can. And then for future watermelon projects, especially if you're going to do the shawl, you're going to need some, for that too. So just get enough to where you feel you have enough for both projects. Okay, so, I've dragged that out for a good 10 minutes. So let's end that. Okay, let's go on to the results. Okay, the MRI results. Well, it wasn't pretty, but then it could have been worse. First of all, I've started the Abagio, and they did it in the hospital the first 2 days of it. They monitored me. I did well. I took it today, So that's on deck. So this is what's helping me now. Okay, what the MRI showed, first of all, I am, he already knew I was having a T7 attack, and that was confirmed through the MRI. The T7 plaque has reopened. Now, for those of you who don't know what multiple sclerosis is, let me fill you in. Think of a wire. Okay, we'll use this phone cord. Let's just say that this is a plug that goes into the wall. If you scrape the coating off the plug, it's going to expose the wires. You go to plug this into a wall socket and touch that wire, then you're going to get the electrical shock. That's, in a nutshell, is what MS is. But what it is your myelin sheath, which is on your bones and I guess is your bones. You have what they call a myelin sheath, and that's the coating, and that covers your nerves. So anywhere you have your optic, your hearing nerve, your spinal cord, your C-spine, which is in your neck, and your brain, that's, those areas contain the myelin sheath. So what multiple sclerosis is all of a sudden the autoimmune disease eats away of that myelin sheath. And so you start getting the symptoms like the electrical shock because you don't have a coating over that area called the myelin sheath. But what happens is it heals on its own, but once it heals, it leaves scarring, and that's the sclerosis part. So the scarring, although it heals, the plaque is inactive, but even though it's inactive, you can still have symptoms because the signals gets mixed. And excuse my voice is slurring, and that's because of the MS. Okay, so the signals get mixed, and I feel like the Nutty Professor. Remember that in that movie when he took that DNA or whatever, and he was talking about the water, it was making him crazy because it was taking his brain. That's what I'm feeling like. Okay, I'm laughing. But anyway, let me just try to finish this. I'll be done in a minute. But anyway, the boy, I'm gonna look back at this video and laugh, okay? Okay, y'all can laugh, it's all right. But anyway, now I'm having brain fog. Oh, so when you get the scarring, it leaves, you can still get symptoms because your nerve endings are blocked in some way, so you can still get symptoms. That's why some people with MS continue to have symptoms all the time, and they continue to progress. I'm a thunderbolter. I'm the type, once I'm fine, I'm fine. People would never know I have MS, and I guess that's the best thing for me. And so, but I'm a thunderbolter. But I pay for it dearly whenever I have an attack, which is what I'm in the middle of now. Being a thunderbolter, they hit me hard and they take me right on down until I'm fine again. So basically, so that's what MS is. But anyway, so the T7, we already knew about that. He knew, because of my symptoms and everything and how I felt. I knew something was happening. And the first T7 attack was in 2013. I had never had one since. So this one got me good. It fooled me because remember I kept saying I would wax and wane. One day I feel fine, no problems, no symptoms. The next day I'm hurting or whatever was going on. And then finally it all just came tumbling down, okay? And so then that's when I got to the hospital and, and things went from bad to worse. But anyway, so the T7, the MRI showed that the T7 lesion has opened back up and it's active. Then there's a new lesion. It's either a lesion or a plaque. So if you hear me use the word interchangeably, I'm talking about the same thing. And that's the multiple, the multiple part. The sclerosis is the scarring. So nothing scarred there. So the T7 is active, and then the T5 opened up. That's the first of that one. And then he suspects He said because the MRI caught the bottom of my lumbar, which is right at the tailbone. And I had been having those symptoms where my hips were hurting and I couldn't stand, and I still can't for but a few minutes. But then the walker takes the pressure off. He thinks that he saw the beginning of a plaque on my lumbar spine. So that's your L spine. And so I have to have another MRI. I think he said in a couple of weeks, and he's going to do it of the lumbar and down the whole hip area to make sure. But he thinks there's a new plaque there. Then there was a whole bunch of new plaques on the side of my spine, but they have not opened up. And the good news is it hadn't gone to the marrow, because that's important, because once a lesion or a plaque gets down to the marrow, it's just basically exposing the bone, and that's when you can lose the ability to walk, because next is the spinal cord itself, and then it can sever that, and then you're in a wheelchair for life. Once that happens, you're done. So fortunately for me, it's nowhere near the bone marrow, so that was the good news. It was nothing. It just showed that they were forming. So the medication that I'm on now, that the Albagio, should help to slow the progression, for one, and heal up the plaques that are there. And I'm tolerating it well, so I think I'll be okay with that. So that's what the test revealed. So that's where we're at with that. And I'm slurring, so I'm just end this, y'all, because it's just getting worse and worse. Yeah, I'm still under the influence of this Dilaudid, and I'm just fatigued. I'm slugged. I'm full of brain fog. Y'all just keep me in your prayers. Yeah, I'm still sick. And this is the recovery part. Recovery after the fact is always worse. Remember I told y'all I would feel worse before I feel better? Now, by next week, when it's time for the reunion, doctor told me it's going to take about 3 days. He said by Saturday, he said, you'll start feeling yourself again. And he's about right, because I had that low dosage. Now, once I start feeling myself again, all of a sudden, you get this burst of energy. It's as if you can just rule the world, okay? That's how steroids work. So, but I'm going to have to be careful during that time, because I don't want to end up, relapsing with the relapse. So I just have to still take it easy, but at least I'll have my strength back. I should be able to travel pretty good, and I should feel okay, but I'll just have to take it easy. I'm trying to decide. I said I was going to take the scooter because my walker going across my cousin's grass is going to be difficult, but the walker would be better. But then if we go, because we're supposed to go possibly to Mackinac or to the lakefront and all that stuff, the shore. So I'm thinking I'm going to just take the scooter with me. I can't take both. I can only take one. So the scooter would be more conducive, because I can ride that it's a lightweight, so I can ride that right at my cousin's. And if we go somewhere shopping or whatever, I'm on the scooter and I don't have to worry about anything or walking or anything like that. So I think I'm going to just take the scooter. So I'm going to get it charged up. We'll get it loaded into my sister's vehicle, and it'll be there waiting for when we leave next week. Hold on. Some cranberry juice. Ooh, that felt good. Okay, so that's going. What else? And that's basically it. Oh, the other thing. I got my application filled out today, because it's a long process, but I was able to get it done on today. I took the time. So I have the equipment coming, cooling equipment from the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. And then I also have, it's going to be one of those sit-in-place bicycle things. You can either use your hand for exercising or your feet. Those are the two items that I chose from one thing. And then from, the cooling gear. And then that, I also chose a walker, a rollator walker, just a regular seated walker. I got that to where that could just stay in my car at all times. And so if I don't need to use the cane, or if the cane isn't enough, I will have that walker in there in my back seat at all times, so I can use that. My doctor has already, in fact, I should be receiving right after the 4th because of the holiday. He ordered my new U-step. It's ordered. It's done. Kaput. He was like, nope, you're getting that right away, because he said the new ones are a lot better than the old ones. So he wanted me to have that. So that's ordered, the U-step. So I should have that within the next couple of weeks. I would figure the week after the 4th. It'll probably come right around the 6th or 7th, right in time for my birthday. So when I get that, I'll be showing it to you. So I told him I want the pink or the blue, but I don't know what color they're going to choose. I kind of hope for the blue one, because they had a royal blue color too. I just didn't want another black, because I already, I always get black. Okay, and what else? Then I have the cooling gear from the MSAA. And it's something else too that my doctor ordered. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. So I know this was a rambling video, probably the worst one I've ever done. But you know about the yarn, so just get it. Go to Michael's, order it, get your 30% off, and order away, and be ready for the day that we do our project, which will be the watermelon bag, starting it off. And then after the watermelon bag, we'll move on into the watermelon shawl. Okay? And then that's it. Okay, so I'm off of here. I feel like the Nutty Professor. Over and out. I hope that y'all could gather from what I was saying. But anyway, I'm through with the updates. Just know that I'm recovering now, and I'll be okay pretty soon here. And once I am, I'll be resuming the story. I'm gonna leave the Andrew story out until I'm fully coherent again and can speak clearly about it. Yep, and everything. So give me a few weeks here, but I'll be coming on. I'll be coming to say hi and everything. So I'll be back. I just won't be speaking of the MS attack unless it's something important with it or whatever. It'll be whatever I'm talking will be crochet related or garden related. I'm getting ready to go pick some squash leaves and stuff now for us to have some squash flowers tonight. And then it's time to harvest that kohlrabi that I have. That's for the gardening people. And I have so many green beans coming. It's a crying shame. Oh, and for those of you in our area, the Myers have that butter on sale. That good one, the one that's normally $7. It's on sale, half off. So get some of that. Okay, so I'm rambling again. So goodbye. Bye-bye, y'all. Bye-bye. And just keep me in prayer. Holla at me, too. Y'all can talk to me. Shoot. I'll look at the thing, and I'll let you know how I'm doing and all that good stuff. Oh, and welcome Jen. Jen came yesterday. She visited the Q stead. I was just out of it. So I did a minute-long video, y'all, of me and Jen. So look at my, on the Q stead channel, and you'll see my minute-long video. That's it. But we did a live later in the day, or about an hour or so later. So she has all the footage. I don't have but 1 minute of footage because I'm just too jacked up. And plus I was right in the middle of discharge and stuff too from the hospital. Yep, I came home yesterday. So now I got to get all this stuff off of me and get the tape and all that off of me, and then I'll be done. Yep. And I'm still swollen. It's just horrible. Ooh, y'all. And let me tell y'all about my little blessing. 2 of them today. And then I'm getting off of here. See, my brain popped back in real quick. First of all, I wear sash shoes. Sash shoes, I discovered those when I worked in the plant. They kept you from slipping on the oily floor in the plant, and you didn't have to worry about falling. Plus, they're very comfortable. They're spelled S-A-S, SAS. They're made in Texas. Most people have heard of sash shoes. Those shoes cost at least $200 a pair. And they have different varieties. You have your diabetic, you have your walking shoes, you have your like your sneaker, your sandal, all that stuff, Mary Jane. Well, anyway, I had a pair, brand new, and I went to the hospital. This was like 5 or 6 years ago, and the hospital lost my sash shoes. $200 down the drain, and I couldn't afford any more after that, so I just didn't have them. And so I prayed. I was like, okay, this is the time because of the MS. I need those sash shoes to keep from falling and to be able to keep my, my gait steady. I went on eBay yesterday and there was a brand new pair. The guy wanted like $64 for them. I was like, that's not bad. But then his shipping was like $10. I was like, that's a little bit too much. But I was eyeing them because they were brand new. I was like, I'm still saving well over half, so I may get them. And so I even told my sister last night, I think I'm going to spring and get these sash shoes. And they're the Mary Jane, so they're like a sandal. You can wear it as a dressy shoe, yet and still is still closed toe. Really nice. So anyway, I woke up this morning. It was about 8 o'clock. I woke up and I had a notice from eBay. The person selling those shoes gave me an offer. Actually, it was 6 people who were interested in the shoes. So he's like, first come, first serve. And they were $25. He dropped them down to $25 for this brand new pair of sash shoes. I was the early bird, y'all. I was up at 8. Bing! I hurried up and paid for those shoes. And then the shipping ended up being, he took something off of that. It was like $8 or something. So altogether, I ended up paying $34, I believe, for those shoes. Brand new pair. Mary Jane, my size and everything. Beautiful shoes. So they'll be here Saturday. So I'll let y'all see them once they arrive. I still have my sash shoe polish that I had from back when I had the other ones that got lost. So I'm going to polish them up real good, clean them up real good. Hey, if they need it, they may not need it because they're brand new, so we'll see. But anyway, so I'm happy about that. Then the second blessing, I was at Myers today and they have the little clearance shelf. So they had a large skillet. It was a smaller one. And I have all the sizes in cast iron skillets, but I didn't have a small one, like where you could fry egg or something like that. They had the skillet there. And it was on clearance. And so when I rung it through the scanner, it said that it was $12.99. I was like, okay, so $12.99, that's not bad. I'm going to get this. So I got it. Well, when I rung it at the cash register, it rung up at $5. I'm like, this is weird. So it had this silicone arm on it. And I didn't know that I thought it was all together. And so that's why I was wondering, why is this ringing $5 all of a sudden when it should be ringing $12? I ended up paying $5 for that whole setup. And I don't know what happened to the 12 part. So perhaps I got the skillet part free and the silicone, I paid whatever for that, the $5, but I paid $5 altogether. So it's a nice little skillet too. So I was like, Sherry's like, well, take your blessing as it comes. Because I was like, I hope I don't die and go to hell over this one. I was like, because I knew I saw $12.99 earlier, but Sherry's like, no, that's legitimate. You would think it's together because it was, So I just had no idea that it was separate. So I consider it a blessing. The thing didn't beep or anything because I would think that it would have beeped if it had not, if it had not been paid for or whatever. So I just went on and rolled with it. So I'm happy. Okay, you guys. So here we are. I done spent another 10 minutes on here. 30 minutes just rambling. So like I said, laugh, laugh, laugh. Because I know I'm going to look back on this and laugh for sure. Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. And may God bless you all. Bye-bye.